I am talking about my community, what makes it so special. So, from ethnicity, the aspect of ethnicity, um, there are a lot of Hakka people from my community, and Hakka people are Hakkanese are originated from Canton, China. It was due to in Qing Dynasty, um, the overpopulation in the city in coastline cities in Fujian and Guangdong. So those people they came to Taiwan to seek for more land um, to survive, and the specifically the Cantonese people who came from Guangdong are now Hakkanese in Taiwan. Uh, they are really similar cultures. They speak similar languages, but the wordings are slightly different, and it's like um, speaking Portuguese and Spanish. They are really similar languages, but they're just not the same. And what I am from this city, Pingtung City, and it is located in southern Taiwan. And originally, the Hakkanese they arrived at Taoyuan, Hsinchu, and Miaoli. Those three cities, mostly the northern part of Taiwan, and due to because there were still too much people arriving during this time, so uh, some of them heard that there are still uncultivated lands and at the southern part, so they traveled from north to south, and so it becomes us. So the reason why this they knew that there were uncultivated lands because this in this area it is really flat plain. It is really suitable for growing crops and also this place. But during this time, most of the lands were occupied by people from Fujian. So the good lands, because they arrived before the Hakkanese arrived, so they occupy all the, you could say, the good soils. So the Hakkas seeking for survival, they um, went all around Taiwan to seek for lands. And this is a picture roughly showing the distribution of Hakkanese in Taiwan. It's a pretty small country, so um, yeah. And the place I wanted to introduce is the Liudui Hakka Cultural Park. Um, it is located in Pingdong, in Pingdong in southern Taiwan. So this is my house, and this is the cultural park, and this is my school. This is and this river is this is the territory of it splits the two cities. The this On the left side it is Kaohsiung City, and on the right side is Pingdong City. And from my house to this cultural center it is about let's say a 30-minute bike ride. And since Pingdong, the city is a really big bike city, there are a lot of biking trails. So many of us bike or who ride bikes will bike from the city center, which is this is the downtown area, to this maybe a little bit countryside to um, to chill. Yeah. And what is special about it is there are 12 Hakka tribes in Pingdong and Kaohsiung City, in the southern part of Taiwan. And those 12 main tribes, um, they gathered in this cultural center and have exhibitions um, uh, about like their cultures and traditions, and there are stores they sell the traditional dishes and foods of the Hakka culture. Uh, this this is a really, I would say it's a roof, and the this is designed by Xie Yingjun, this designer, and it is a representation of the Hakka's bamboo hat. It's this triangular shaped hat, and a structure of a paper umbrella, which is the how they elevate this roof from ground level is based on they are they took the idea from this paper umbrella. What is special about this umbrella is we painted on this umbrella, and yeah, it is made of paper and it looks good. Yeah, so it is more like an artwork, so less in practical uses. And um, the challenges facing by this Hakka community is is um, is the diminishing of the cultures and traditions. Since during 1964, which is the government initiated the Mandarin movement, which because there during the time there were two two main language Chinese languages, which is Hakkanese and Taiwanese. They're like dialects, and also the Aborigines, the native Taiwanese, they speak. They have their each tribe has their own language, so it makes the government really hard to communicate with the people. So they initiated the Mandarin movement. Basically, they force everyone to speak Chinese, and if you're in school, you're not supposed to say any dialect. And if at the start, if you say it like that was the time of my grandmother, if you speak it, you will get punished. And from my mother's time, um, it ended when she was at secondary school. So my uncle, her younger brother, is a pretty good example of the gap between the time, because during the time, Mandarin was banned. No, that Hakkanese was banned. So my uncle basically he doesn't know how to speak Hakka, but my mom does because they still speak it at home when she was young, and when my uncle wasn't born yet. And in elementary school, like now we actually um, for to preserve this language, we will take traditional language courses, which is basically Hakkanese and Taiwanese. We have those two choices. Like it is like Spanish in the state, and I chose Hakkanese as this as the language as my language choice. However, this is only in elementary school. After elementary school, you barely have chances to take lessons of Hakkas. And since Taiwanese is the second dominated language other than Chinese in Taiwan, so there's actually a lot of people who speaks it. But Hakka, it just there is a relatively less people who speaks it, and due to this, a lot of people, including me, we kind of just forget it after elementary school, and plus we don't really speak it in home we use Chinese um, in most of the time. And comparing to how they preserve culture in China, I think, in my opinion, it is being more well preserved there than in Taiwan, because um, there are still people who um, take Hakkanese as their mother tongue. So when I was in China, there were actually a lot of people who learned Chinese as their secondary language. So they might not be really good at Chinese, but their um, native language, they make, like, their first language is Hakka, so they speak Hakka really well, and they preserve, and they have really a lot of cultures and traditions that are in their traditional life. For example, the dishes, it is less being influenced by Western culture. It is really traditional. Um, so I think a really practical way of preserving this culture is to learn more about this culture. Um, so to do this, I think the schools can extend Hakka courses to secondary school, because there are actually number of people who are interested in this language. For example, my friend, she used to be really good um, at giving speeches in Hakka, and she went to competition and she participated in a lot of competitions and get really good scores. But then after middle school, um, after primary school, when we went to secondary school, I asked her to still learn Hakka. She said, well, she basically just forget most of them, which is, I would say, it is pretty a pity, because this is our tradition, and it is not. It is just really pity if you just gave up. And ask parents and grandparents for more Hakka cultures, because there are many people who speaks Hakka who don't like, they're Hakkas but they don't know they're Hakkas. Um, Maybe because their parents, they do speak Hakka, but they don't speak it publicly, because this is also habit they developed during um the Mandarin movement, because you're not encouraged to speak dialect like Hakka. So most of the time they still speak it, but only when it is like or three people to people who are their families. um yeah, and identify parents, grandparents who still speak Hakka, say privately. For example, my grandpa and grandma, they still speak this language, but only when it's like me and then them too. So, like, they still speak it, um and when I'm there, they still speak it. But when if it's like a lot of people, the whole family, in front of the whole family, they probably use Chinese. Um, uh, Also, to learn about traditions and cultures by going to exhibitions. So in the cultural center, there are a lot of exhibitions about Hakka cultures and traditions. For example, I would say there's um, like a machine, a special machine where we used to let me see, peel off the skins of the rice and of the crops, and it becomes rice. And the way we dry our rice, and earlier it was literally just place it on the floor, and we have to keep they have to keep how do you say, switching like switching the sides, so the waters are evaporated equally from at the top and the bottom. And yeah, it was a really nice place to go. um, I went there since when I was 6. Most of the time my parents take me there um, for a bike ride. And yeah, during this time I could also learn about a lot of the traditions. And this is my presentation, and thank you for listening.